Chapter 5, Center Stage. That Saturday, Dad, Mason, and I loaded our instrument into Dad's pickup and headed over to East Park, where the neighborhood association mixer was happening. The TriStar were performing at 2 o'clock, a whole hour from now, but I could hardly wait to get on stage. East Park Small, just a square of grass and a few playing fields. A temporary stage had been set up on the baseball diamond, where another local band was playing a lively bluegrass tune for a small crowd. A few dozen people were milling around two food stalls. Mom could have sold hot chicken, I thought, but she'd taken the truck and over to her private party. We spotted some of our neighbors and Dad stopped to say hello to Miss Paybon, the woman with enormous purple glasses who lives next door. Finally, we circled up behind the stage and tuned our instruments. Dad went over to set list, naming each song in the order we were going to play them. By the time he was done, I could tell Mason was getting nervous. Jessie still hadn't arrived. We go on in less than a half hour, Mason said, checking his watch. Where is she? Dad pressed his lips together. I'll call her, he said. He whipped out his phone and dialed, shaking his head when she didn't answer. He tried again a few minutes later and then again. By the time she picked up, we were supposed to go on 15 minutes. I couldn't hear what Dad was telling her, but he did not look happy. When he hung up and walked back to us, he looked dazed. Is she on her way? I asked. No, Dad said she quit. Mason and I gasped. Now, I squeaked. No way, she can't. It's okay, Dad, although he didn't look okay. We can reorganize the set list. I'll sing lead. What about Carolina Highway and Wildwood Flower? Mason said with worrying, creasing his forehead. Your voice is too low and we've never practiced those songs in another key. I can sing them, I blurted out without even thinking. That gave me a worried squint. I can, I insisted. I have the same range as Jessie, and I sang both songs in rehearsal a million times. Tenney's right. She can do it, Mason said. A neighbor's chill tap danced down my back. This was all happening so fast. What about my guitar part? I asked. I can sing and play back up too, not without rehearsing. I'll play guitar and will do without bass for Carolina Highway. Dad decided all you need to do is sing. I took a deep breath and tried to ignore my galloping heart. Okay, I said. Dad looked relieved and Mason squeezed my shoulder. I can't believe it. I thought I'm actually going to sing lead. Excitement tingled through me. But when I looked up at the crowd dancing in front of the stage, my confidence suddenly evaporated. I'd sung solos, but I'd never sung a whole song alone in front of an audience, and now I was going to sing too. I took a deep breath. I know these songs. It'll be fine. The next few minutes were a blur. We ran through both songs' intros, so I'd remember when a start when to start singing, and then waited for the act ahead of us to finish. Finally, we went on stage. I tried not to look at the audience as I helped set up our gear with Mason and Dad. I didn't want to be reminded of how many people were going to be looking at me. Once we were ready, Dad stepped up to the lead microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Tenney Tri-Stars, named for our beautiful state flag. He said with a smile, we're one star short today, but I've got faith that we're still going to shine. He gave me a wink and counted up. We jumped into our set. Our first two songs were fast and fun, designed to get people dancing. Dad calls this trick lighting up the audience. By the time Dad started his guitar solo on, the devil went down to Georgia. People were clapping to the beat. Dad's finger flew. He was playing so fast, I thought his strings might start smoking. As he finished with a flourish, people shouted, "Bravo! How am I supposed to follow that?" I thought. We were playing Carolina Highway next. Dad had originally written it for Mom to sing years ago. It's a great song, but it needed a voice as good as hers. I tried to swallow my anxiety. Just stay on key, I told myself. I'm so proud to introduce the youngest TriStar, Dad said. My daughter, Tenney. Dad moved over and I stepped up to the lead microphone. It was too high, but I could ask Dad to adjust it. He started playing. Mason joined in, his mandolin balancing Dad's rhythm guitar. I can do this, I told myself. My cue was approaching. I tried to pull the microphone toward my mouth, but it didn't budge. It's locked. I realized, panicking. I tried to loosen the knob, but it was no use. How was anyone going to hear me? I yanked the mic again with both hands, but it stayed put. Finally, just in time for my cue, I pulled the mic out of its clip and stepped around the hand. This Carolina Highway's full of dead ends and byways. I sang this Carolina Highway's awfully dark. It twists into forever. I might be heading nowhere. I just hope it leads me back into your heart. Okay, got through that one. 8 bars later, I sang the second verse even better than the first. My voice becoming clearer as I gained confidence. Now came the chorus. Mason and Dad got ready to harmonize with me. Where are you? I sang, relaxing into my usual singing part. Then I had a horrified thought. No one singing the melody. I was so startled, I went quiet, missing the next lyric. I need you. Mason and Dad sang together, covering me. Embarrassment turned my cheeks hot, and I turned around to look at Dad. His eyes locked on mine. I believe in you, he look said. His look said. I gave a nod and breathed deeply, stayed in the moment. I told myself, it didn't seem like the crowd had noticed my screw-up. People were listening politely. Miss Paybon gave me an encouraging thumbs up. As the next verse I started, I put my heart into it. Carolina Highway, are you going my way? I closed my eyes, my voice sailing across the melody. Carolina Highway helped me just fly away. My nerves melted away. I opened my eyes. Why I had been so afraid. The audience was swaying to the rhythm. I felt like I was being held up by love. The chorus started. Where are you? I sang, looking up the sky. I felt strong and free, more like myself than ever. I had before. I never wanted the song to end. But when it did, the crowd burst into applause. Thank you, I whispered into the mic. Before I could take in the moment, Dad started playing Wildwood Flower. It's a simple folk song, and I practiced it a lot, so it was easier than Carolina Highway. Singing it felt like hanging out with a good friend. Somewhere in the middle of the song, I glanced over at Dad. He was watching me, looking proud and a bit stunned, as if he hadn't really seen me before this moment. For the rest of the show, I felt like I was floating. I'd done it. I'd sung lead, and I sounded good. I just wished Mom had been there to see it. I couldn't wait to tell her everything. When we got home, I rushed inside Mom. Mom was in the living room Waylon. She listened patiently as we told her how I'd ended up singing lead. Congratulations, honey, Mom said. Did you have fun? I had so much fun, I said. Tenney was fantastic, Dad said. Better than fantastic, Mason said, throwing himself into the couch next to Waylon. Could I sing lead again sometime? I asked. Mom laughed. Well, it sounds like you might get more chances now, she said, raising an eyebrow at Dad. Just don't start singing any old where, Dad said. I won't, I said, but I barely heard him. My mind was still buzzing with excitement. I couldn't wait to perform again.
Like, share and subscribe.